Welcome back to the cryptowrld channel, everyone. My name is Josh, and right now Ethereum has officially confirmed the breakout above this key area of resistance, while XRP is currently retesting this previous line of resistance to flip it into new support, while the price of Solana is currently rejecting from this key level of resistance in the short term, while Cardano is possibly forming a new pattern that we need to pay attention to. So I'll be talking about all of that and more later in the video, so definitely watch to the end. First of all, starting off on the weekly Ethereum chart, and right now the price of ETH is technically still playing out a bull run on the larger time frames. So as I've been saying over and over again here on the channel, despite what happens in the short term, when we're zooming out looking at the bigger picture, right now we're looking very bullish. And if we're taking a look at the 3-day time frame, we are continuing the breakout above this previous major level of resistance, which is a Fibonacci level, and that was sitting at around 3.2k, but now that level is new support. So once again, expect supports at around 3.2k if we were to see a further pullback here. But right now the price is clearly bullish, continuing to play out that bull run here on the larger time frames. And the next point of resistance to the upside, now that we're starting to break out above 3,500, the next major area of resistance is sitting in between 3.9k to 4k. So that is right, we are now targeting around 3.9k to 4k coming next, potentially in the coming days or weeks very soon, if we can especially confirm this breakout on the 3-day time frame above 3,500 with a 3-day candle close above that level. But with that being said, taking a look at the daily time frame, and we have now officially confirmed the breakout with a daily candle close above this area of resistance, and this area was sitting in between around 3430 to 3560. And as we could see here, time and time again, this was major resistance here in the short term, but we've now finally confirmed this breakout with a daily candle close, which is obviously bullish. Anytime where we break out above major resistance, that's a bullish signal. And right now, as of recording this video, we're coming in for a retest, possibly about to confirm this previous resistance as new support, considering usually when we break out above resistance, that becomes new support. And so ultimately, once again, the trend and momentum is clearly bullish right now. But with that being said, if we're staying on the daily time frame, at least for now, we're still possibly forming, basically just flashing a possible bearish divergence. Now, I want to make it clear that this possible bearish divergence is not confirmed as of right now, because we've not confirmed the lower high in place in the RSI. And so, for example, if the price of ETH continues pumping here, playing out the bull run, then that can raise the RSI further to the upside. And if the RSI breaks out above this previous high, then there'll be higher highs in the RSI and higher highs in the price, meaning no divergence. And so we ultimately need to see a confirmed lower high in place in the RSI by seeing a strong rejection, basically a pullback like this in the RSI to actually cement the lower high in place in the RSI. And then after we see that, then we can finally confirm the bearish divergence and expect a bit more of a short-term cool-off in the coming days or weeks. But right now that has not confirmed, which means this pattern is not playing out right now. It is not active. And so this is just something to pay attention to in case it does confirm. But for now, Ethereum is technically looking more bullish than bearish, especially when we're looking at the trend as of right now, especially on the larger timeframes. And if we're taking a look at XRP on the weekly time frame, it's the same story here as well for XRP on these larger timeframes. We're looking very, very bullish, playing out a bull run, breaking out above key levels of resistance. And over the last few days, obviously we broke out above this 78.6% Fibonacci level at around $1.30 and actually retested that level. So that is acting as new support once again at around $1.30, and just underneath $1.30 around there is major support. And as for resistance, we still have a lot of resistance at approximately $1.60 to $1.70 based on these previous highs. But if we were to see a confirmed breakout back above $1.60 to $1.70, then in that case we'll likely head up towards around $2. And if we're taking a look at the shorter term on this 2-hour time frame, over the last 1 day, as we can see, we broke out to the upside from this symmetrical triangle pattern, also known as a horizontal triangle pattern. We saw that breakout, and then since then, obviously, we've come back down for a retest, actually retesting this previous line of resistance, now acting as new support. But of course, as I also said in my last video, we still have these other levels of resistance to watch out for on this 2-hour XRP chart. Based on the Fibonacci retracement tool, we do have this level of resistance to watch out for, sitting at around $1.50 approximately, around $1.50 to $1.51. We have major resistance, at least in the short term, in that area. And so ultimately, we cannot expect the price to go up towards this price target until we can finally see a breakout above $1.50 to $1.51. And then once we see that confirmed breakout with candle closes above that level, then we can expect at least a move up towards this previous high at around $1.59 to $1.63. And then if we break out above that level, then we'll be heading towards this price target, which is sitting at around $1.77. And so it's just important to understand that even though we technically have this price target right now at $1.77, of course, there's resistance along the way, which is basically obstacles for the price to actually surpass that can potentially prevent the price actually heading towards that price target if the resistance is strong enough. And as for short-term support, we do have support right here at approximately $1.42 to $1.43, which is also right around this line right here, this previous line of resistance, now acting as new support at approximately $1.42 to $1.43. And ultimately, if we start breaking down below these levels right here on the XRP price chart, that would invalidate this pattern and invalidate this price target if we break below that level of support. And in that case, the next level of support is at around $1.36 to $1.37. And below that, we have major short-term support in between $1.28 to $1.30. And due to the fact that obviously right now the price of XRP is clearly lacking bullish momentum with this breakout right here, we broke out, but we're lacking momentum, as we can see. Due to that fact, personally, when it comes to my trading strategy, I have started to reduce the size of this XRP long position, which I shared in my last altcoin video just yesterday. And so obviously this is not the ideal outcome. The ideal outcome would be an explosion straight towards this price target, which is what we saw around a week ago with my last XRP trade, which I shared here on the channel. Obviously that trade went very, very well, but this time around we're lacking momentum. And obviously I've talked about over the last few days how this time around, due to only 2 touch points along this line of support, we cannot really be overly confident in this pattern right here. So there's more risk this time around, and we are starting to see that with a lack in bullish momentum. And so like I just said, due to those reasons, I've reduced the size of this long position and potentially going to reduce it a little bit more. Yesterday, this was around a $40,000 trade. Currently, it's around a $30,000 trade. So I've taken a very small amount of profits, as you can see right here, just to reduce the size of the trade, to reduce my risk. But then possibly if we see a confirmed breakout above this line of resistance, above $1.50 to $1.51, potentially I'll jump back in and actually increase the size of that trade, increase the size of that long position if we can confirm a breakout above this resistance to trade that move towards this next high. But as of right now, based on the current situation, that is my trading strategy, just reducing the size of that long position to reduce my risk. And if you're wondering where I'm taking this trade, and a lot of my new trades right now, I'm taking this over on Bitfinex. So I'll make sure to leave a link to Bitfinex below this video. And if you use that link to make your Bitfinex account, you can get up to a 5.5k deposit bonus. And only if you use that link, you can get an exclusive 10% discount on all trading fees on the Bitfinex exchange forever. But that's only available if you use the link below this video to make your Bitfinex account. And also, in case you're wondering, Bitfinex is a no KYC exchange, which means you don't need any KYC, so you can access it from the US or the UK, for example, or a bunch of other countries where you might not be able to access other exchanges, but you can access Bitfinex. Once again, link down below. But for whatever reason, if you don't want Bitfinex, there's also Bybit as another crypto exchange that I personally trade on. And if you use the link below this video to Bybit, you can get a 500 USDT position airdrop. So basically a free $500 trade as your first trade over on Bybit, but that's only available if you use the link below this video to make your Bybit account and deposit on that account. But with that being said, taking a look at the price of Solana on the 2-day time frame, technically speaking, despite the short-term pullback that we're seeing at the moment, the larger trend is technically still bullish. If we're looking at the lows and the highs, we're seeing higher lows and higher highs, which is a bullish trend. So just like Bitcoin and Ethereum and XRP, when we're zooming out, looking at the bigger picture, technically speaking, we're in a larger bull run. We're just simply seeing a bit of a short-term cool-off, a bit of a pullback during that bullish market, which is perfectly normal to see, as we've seen time and time again. And as for the next major price target for Solana, that is sitting at around $313 based on this 1618 Fibonacci extension, once again at 313. But before we can hit 313, of course, we have short-term resistance that we first need to break out above. So if we're zooming into the short term, looking at the 6-hour time frame, as I've been saying since all the way back around here, we have strong resistance at $260. So expect a lot of resistance at 260. And also we have short-term resistance at approximately 246, around 245 to 246. We do have short-term resistance right there. And over the last one day, that's pretty much exactly to the nearest dollar where we have rejected from. And so obviously this is happening just after we pretty much perfectly bounced to the nearest dollar from this line of support that I've been talking about at around $222. So right now we have a lot of support at 222, more support at 205, and we could also find a bit of support right here at approximately 231 to 232. And once again for resistance, that's sitting at around 246 and 260. But ultimately, the stage that Solana is currently in is essentially just a bit of a short-term cool-off, currently pulling back a little bit, most likely going to play out some choppy sideways price action as well, potentially in the next few days here during this larger bullish market. Very similar to what we're seeing with Bitcoin and Ethereum, especially with Bitcoin at the moment, basically just consolidating sideways, seeing little pullbacks, little pumps here and there in the short term during the larger bullish market. But with that being said, if we're taking a look at Cardano on the weekly time frame, the price of Cardano is still trading underneath this major area of resistance, which is sitting in between $1.13 to $1.23. So expect strong resistance in that area, as I've already been saying since before we saw that perfect rejection from that area. But once we can eventually see a confirmed breakout above that golden pocket area of resistance, above $1.23, then in that case, the next major Fibonacci level of resistance on this weekly time frame right here is sitting at around $1.76 as the next major price target once we can confirm a breakout above this golden pocket, which once again for now is still acting as strong resistance. And as for support, we should expect strong support at this level right here, which is the 50% retracement level, and that was previous resistance, as you can see, and should now be acting as new support, and that's sitting at approximately 83 cents to 84 cents. But if we're zooming into the shorter term, looking at the 2-hour time frame, we also have a bit of support at around 98 cents to 99 cents approximately, and below that level we also have more support at around 94 cents and major short-term support right here in between around 88 cents to 89 cents, nearly 90 cents. And as for short-term resistance, we do have this level to watch out for, sitting at approximately $1.05, and also more resistance at around $1.11. So essentially in this golden pocket area of resistance. But if we're zooming back into the short term again, looking at this 2-hour time frame, right now the price of Cardano is potentially forming an inverse head and shoulders pattern. And now I want to make it clear that at least for now, even though this pattern is possibly forming, it is not confirmed, because in order to confirm this pattern, we need to first see a confirmed breakout with candle closes above this neckline right here, which is acting as resistance, and that's sitting at approximately $1.03. And also it's worth mentioning that this is not a perfect textbook inverse head and shoulders pattern. For example, the left shoulder is quite a lot larger compared to the right shoulder. And so an ideal inverse head and shoulders pattern, a textbook inverse head and shoulders pattern, would be after a major pullback like this, and it's more of a reversal pattern a lot of the time, not always, but a lot of the time it's usually a reversal pattern. And ideally we need to see kind of equal sized shoulders for an inverse head and shoulders pattern. But with that being said, if enough people trade this as an inverse head and shoulders pattern, it can be a self-fulfilling prophecy. If a lot of people are buying as soon as we're breaking out here, that can also push the price further to the upside and play it out as if it was a proper inverse head and shoulders pattern. And so with that being said, if we're taking a look at the technical price target for this inverse head and shoulders pattern, if we first confirm the breakout above the neckline, which right now has not happened, but if that happens, then that will set up a short-term price target at around $1.20. So from the point of the breakout to that price target, we're talking around a 16% move to the upside with no leverage, or for example, a 10x leverage long position would be a 160% profit. But once again, I want to make it clear that this pattern as of right now is not confirmed. This price target is not in play because we haven't yet seen the confirmed breakout above this neckline. And also, even if we see this breakout right here, we cannot ignore resistance. We still have a lot of resistance. For example, this golden pocket on the weekly time frame acting as strong resistance. But with that being said, if you want to get set up ready to go to take these trading opportunities, make sure to check out those links down below this video to claim those extra bonuses over on those exchanges. And if you want to actually know how to trade crypto, no matter if the price is bullish, bearish, or chopping around sideways, then make sure to watch these videos popping up right here on your screen. The video in the top left shows you how you can profit from bullish or bearish price action using long positions or short positions, and the video in the bottom left shows you how you can easily profit from choppy sideways price action. But anyway, that is everything that I have to say for today. I really hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you all in the next video.